On Wednesday, the 22nd of February, we're going to be hosting a very special 12-hour live stream here on AFTV. We're going to be raising funds for the victims of the devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria. We're bringing together all your favorite programs, plus as well your favorite presenters on AFTV and also around the football community here on YouTube. All coming together to do this special 12-hour stream where we can raise as much funds as possible for those victims of that deadly earthquake. So join us on Wednesday, the 22nd of February from 12 p.m. till 12 a.m.
Hi everyone and welcome to AFTV FANZONE in conjunction with the Talk is Cheap show. Joining me today to my left, my good friend, my co-host, my show analyst, partner, former professional footballer, social media influencer and icon. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big digital round of applause for none other than Mr. Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV in the house. What you saying, bro?
Sounding, bro? Got that Jorginho glow about us today, you know what I mean? Today I feel Italian.
Well, I thought you looked
French
more,
actually,
more French
got
today,
the French
man.
part, feeling like...
I must admit, I do like that.
It's all right, man. Young Nicholas
swag is
Anelka,
on.
you know what I mean?
And I noticed you got the hair done as well.
Yeah, man, it was a good weekend, you know what I mean?
How did you spend the weekend?
Good night out. Went out in Nottingham, hometown. Went back and
celebrated
vibrant.
Man City.
Oh, big up Forest, but I think they had one shot on target and scored. You know, possession ain't everything, but yeah,
They surely showed that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they done us a favour. A lot changed from Wednesday night to Saturday afternoon, didn't it?
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about it, man. So, right then, the game on Saturday, Arsenal versus Villa, or Villa versus Arsenal, whatever way you want to put it. Now, going into that game, let me set the backdrop for that game. That was a massive game. We were coming off a run of 4 games with no wins. Been beaten, let's face it, pretty comprehensively by City. I know some people were saying, you know what I mean, this rare, and you know what I mean, and we'd not performed well against Brentford. So things weren't looking good. So going into this game, this was an absolute must-win game. We say that every week, but make no mistake, the Villa game was a must-win. And I was slightly nervous about this game because, you know, look, you're going away from home against a slightly resurgent Villa. I mean, they've not been in the best of form, but then their form had picked up, and I think they were going into the game on Saturday unbeaten in their previous 4. And I think 2 of those 4 wins were decent wins. I think they'd beaten... they'd lost to Leicester.
Lost
they
to
beat
Leicester
Tottenham, didn't they?
And City as well.
Yeah.
They beat Tottenham, yeah.
That's right.
Everyone beats Tottenham now.
But they smoked.
They smoked
Yeah.
them, yeah,
So, you know, I was a little bit nervous about this game. And there was a few question marks. For example, there was question marks over the form of some of the players, notably Martinelli, who, you know, a lot of people were saying that Trossard should come in, and in the end, that's what happened. Yeah. Xhaka, people have been calling him out in recent weeks. Zinchenko, I'd heard 1 or 2 adverse comments about his performances in the lead up to the game. And let's be honest, man, it was finely tuned, wasn't it? I mean, you know, you go in there, you don't win that game, and all of a sudden things are looking kind of bleak.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this now. You know, I said it to you off the record. I said it to you off camera. But I'm going to be honest and say it was my contention that if we hadn't won on Saturday, forget about a draw. To me, a draw is no good either. We needed to win. If we don't win on Saturday, to me, the tie, I wouldn't say it's done, but it's quite forlorn. That was how I was looking at it. Did you have a similar mindset?
I think it was, the script was written on it for that to kind of go wrong. It was like an early kick-off, Unai Emery. We've just had a bad result. In the press conference, Arteta was already talking about this game's too close to the Wednesday. They were setting like a narrative that we haven't had enough time to... And I'm thinking, are you getting the excuse ready there? But I have
Thomas Partey?
Yeah, I mean... Do you know what? Thomas Partey for me he's our best midfielder and he's vital to us, but he's becoming a bit of an issue for me.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I was looking at some stats. 14 league games he missed last season, 14 the year before, 28 league games missed in 2 seasons. He's now injured. They're just saying it's a muscular injury, but...
I thought it was a rib injury.
I mean, he got the rib injury, didn't he? And then, but now they're just saying it's a muscle injury. He hasn't trained today. And I just think... listen, we're going to keep him next season because, you know, the club clearly rely on him. But I think we need to sign somebody that takes the pressure away.
Well, he's
from
definitely one of our most influential players, and let's face it, up until the last couple of weeks, he'd been playing really well for us, and he'd been one of those pivotal players in the spine of that team.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I said, there was a number of factors going into this game that weren't quite going Arsenal's way, and I've alliterated those. But I've got to be fair to the team. We didn't get off to the best of starts. Ollie Watkins with a goal on 5 minutes. I mean, you're looking at that game on Saturday, you're thinking we need to make a good start. Fast, strong, make a statement. What happens? We concede a soft goal after 5 minutes.
Terrible goal as well.
Yeah, and you're thinking to yourself, what the hell's going on there? You know what I mean? And then, you know, Saka, that man Saka gets us back in here. What a wonderful strike that was. Something that we've been calling out for, more players to have more shots, because I keep saying to people, if you're going to circumvent low block and guys, you know, there's that kind of criticism of Arsenal that sometimes the play is a little bit predictable. And I do understand where people are coming from. You know? We do pass the ball around well. However, there are times when, you know, teams stop us from playing through the middle and try and push us out wide, and then what they do is they double team on Saka and Martinelli, and sometimes we have trouble breaking teams down. Now, one of the ways to circumvent that is to just have more shots, and I've always said it, that we don't shoot enough. But anyway, Saka, as soon as the ball comes to him, he's only thinking one thing, shoot, and unerring accuracy there into the top corner, brilliant goal. So you're thinking, right, okay, reset now, 1-1, we're going to start playing. And to be fair, we pick up, we're playing well. But after half an hour, we get undone again. I've got to say, it was a very good Villa goal, but the defending was a little bit awry.
I thought that goal was one of the best goals that's been scored against us this season. They literally cut us apart. The first goal for me was terrible because I think Zinchenko gives the ball away. Saliba's been left.
And Saliba, for some reason, stood off and let Ollie Watkins shoot.
Once a striker gets you in on the edge of the area like that, you can't really let him keep running. You've got to.
Especially someone in form like Ollie Watkins. I think that was his 4th goal in 4 games.
Yeah, it was a bit too easy the way he done Saliba for me. It was a good finish, but the second one I think was, I mean, the little dummy through Xhaka's legs, and then Coutinho slots it. But
So they get that one, 2-1. We go in 2-1 down at half time, and I'm thinking, I helped do the watch along on Saturday, and I must admit I was feeling slightly depressed, but I'm thinking, okay, second half we can pick up. And to be fair to the guys, they did come out and they did show a lot of heart and character, and they were dominating the game. Slightly disjointed start to the second half, but once they kicked in, after a while I thought, you know what, I fancy them to get a goal, and so they did. Zinchenko, again, shooting. You know what I mean? He picked up the ball, he had a bit of space, looked up, picked his corner, another unerring accuracy of a shot straight into that bottom corner there. You're thinking, okay, we're going to go on and win this now. And then, as I was remarking on the watch-along, in the first half, it would appear that Arsenal were defensively not quite at the races. In the second half, it was the finishing that wasn't quite at the races, because we did have a couple of chances. I think there's 3 in particular. Eddie, I think it was 2, one header, and the
kind of one-on-one where he tried to chip in.
And then of course the Odegaard. How he managed to miss that, I don't know. I think it was actually harder to miss than to score, which was unfortunate for him as well, because he was having a very decent game. He's been very influential in the middle of the park. So we seemed to be playing well, but couldn't quite find the finish, and the game seemed to be meandering to a 2-2 draw, which, as I said before, Curtis, to me that wouldn't have been good enough.
No.
You know what I mean? But that man Jorginho steps up, brilliant strike. Okay, he got a little bit of luck. It goes in off Emery Martinez, no less. And amazing scenes. So you're thinking, wow, amazing, they pulled this one out, and then they get another one with virtually the last kick in the game with Martinelli. So so 4-2, amazing scenes, amazing win, and wow. You're thinking, man, everything's back on in the garden again. You could just tell by the way the players celebrated, the way the fans were, the whole mood had just changed significantly. And that is my question to you guys today. How significant do you think this win was? For me, this was very significant, because not only did it sort of re-energize our title aspirations, I reckon it also affected City. I mean, that's my personal view.
Yeah,
I reckon it may have affected City, and it may be that day. This may be, well, Saturday. Maybe the day we look back and say, this was it, the title was won. And I'm not exaggerating. I've been around a long time. I've seen the way things play out. I think it was a very significant one. I'm not saying that because we won on Saturday, we're going to win the title, but what I'm saying, it was very significant. Curtis, over to you. Enough of me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think in the end it was probably the most exciting game of the season for us. I don't think I've ever watched a game and been through so many like emotions.
Yeah.
At half time, I'm thinking we're done. Season's finished.
You wouldn't have been the only one.
I'm looking at the City game thinking they'll beat Forest and they're going to start pulling away from us. But I have to give a lot of credit to the team. I've questioned this team a lot over the years and the manager, but one thing that I like about the team now, they don't give up.
Yep.
Even the whole of that second half, it looked like they had the belief that they could turn that around right until the end. And like you said, we've said many times, we've got to shoot more. Yeah. Odegaard's still a player for me that should shoot more, although when you see that miss, maybe that's why he doesn't shoot. But I do think he has got...
All he needs to do is
I don't know how he missed that. Yeah. I bet he needs to buy Jorginho a drink.
Man. And Eddie as well, mate.
Oh yeah, Eddie as well. Because he won the ball back, didn't he? But I think...
no, I'm saying Eddie as well.
Oh, Eddie should have... Oh, Eddie, yeah. Eddie should have definitely
sure
scored.
To that.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll speak about Eddie. He ain't getting off the hook. No, but listen, for me, I thought Jorginho, listen, everyone's been saying, what are you going to say about Jorginho? Listen, for me, I'm in the same position in the sense that I wasn't excited when we signed him. I don't think he was the signing that we necessarily wanted and needed at the time. However, I do think he's better than some of the players that we've got, your El Nenis and that. And I think looking at him now, you could say that he should be in the team maybe ahead of Xhaka once Partey comes back. Once Partey returns, I think...
I've heard a few people say that.
Xhaka looks a bit like his legs have gone the last couple of weeks. And I think, one thing I'll say about Jorginho, I think he's better on the ball than I actually thought he was. I actually had him down as a bit of a sideways, backwards merchant. Like he just keeps the ball, but he doesn't do much. But in that game against Villa, he's threading little passes between the lines. Saw him talking to people as well. Leadership qualities that I didn't really see at Chelsea. And I was almost a bit shocked by his celebration. I thought, how passionate he was. Honestly, for me, he kind of broke the ice with me that day. Because before that, I've almost had this thing of like, it's Chelsea, man. He's still a Chelsea op who plays for us. But now I kind of look at him like, do you know what? I like what you've done there. I still think there'll be games where he will struggle. The games like the Everton game, although I only came on late in that game. I think if a team's really aggressive and they're running at us a lot, he will still struggle a little bit in them games. But games where we're dominating the ball, he could be instrumental for us. So hopefully we get Partey back. I still think we need Partey back, but it was a good performance.
If Partey comes back, then and the way Jorginho's played the last couple games, you'd have to say he's played well, especially on Saturday. Let's face it, he got the winner. I mean, okay, Martinelli got the fourth goal, but Jorginho really got the winner. Can you really drop him?
No, this is what I'm saying.
And if he stays in the side, then who drops out? Is it Partey or... I mean, Partey's just coming back into the team. Would you say, look, hold on for another game or so on the bench? Or would you say to Xhaka, who, let's face it, is a man that Mikel Arteta has spoken very highly of him previously, would you say to him, take a little rest?
I would give Xhaka a rest. I suppose the only thing you got to look at is Xhaka's been playing in sort of this advanced role. So... can Jorginho or Partey play in that role? That's the only problem. You may have to adjust the way you play a little bit. But I don't think you can drop Jorginho. I think Xhaka, because of the role that he's playing in this kind of 8 role, it requires a lot of energy. You've got to run forward, you've got to get in the penalty area and support Martinelli and Eddie and Saka. And maybe he hasn't been used to doing as much running as what he's been doing this season. He is 30 years of age. This is why I still think long term, without sounding harsh, I still think there needs to be a long term upgrade on Xhaka. I'd love to get a Bellingham or someone like that. I'm not saying that's realistic, but Milinkovic-Savic maybe. Somebody that's got real energy, that scores goals. So for me, I don't think you can drop Jorginho at the moment.
No, I would agree with that. Listen, he had a very good game, and like you said, it wasn't just the passes that he was threading through and some of the stuff like that. You notice that he has quite a strong leadership role in the team. He's talking to players, cajoling them, telling them which positions to take up on the pitch, and obviously that, I do like that, and I'm sure the manager Mikel Arteta likes that as well. So you've got to say that he's earned his place. So it's a good. Let's face it,
it's a good problem to have, isn't it?
Good problem for Mikel Arteta to have. But to go back to my original question, and this is one that I'm inviting the people out there that are watching today, if you want to get on the phone and give us a call and let us know what you think. I think that the win on Saturday was extremely significant, because I think that, and I'm gonna, it's okay for me to say this now. But I was sitting there on Saturday in this very seat actually, doing the information station, and when the game seemed to be meandering to that 2-2 draw, which is what, to all intents and purposes, it was looking like, I was sat there thinking, you know what, this could be the day when it kind of unfolds. And then a couple of minutes later, I'm feeling completely different. So it's amazing how, you get
one
those
game.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I was sitting there at half time thinking, if we lose this or draw this, the title's done. Because I'll be honest, I'm looking at City going to Forest thinking they'll beat them. And they've got Bournemouth next week. I'm thinking, nah, it's done. And then like you were saying off camera, I think somehow us winning the game like that,
and the manner of the win,
puts a little bit of pressure on them at Forest, because if you look at the highlights, like Haaland's missing sitters, he's snatching at things, and you're thinking, is that victory over Villa affecting them a little bit?
Because make no mistake, they would have been watching that game, or if not watching it, they would have had their ears to the
the score lines and that,
and they would have been getting constant updates, and they would have thought, as we all thought, that the game was going to be a 2-2 draw. So they're thinking, okay, they would have been heavily favoured to beat Nottingham Forest, even though it was an away game. They would have thought, right, we take care of business now, man, and we're on our way. Only for, in a matter of a few minutes, for that to get completely turned on its head. So you're right, Curtis. I think that the likes of Haaland and that would have gone into that game. They will never admit this, of course, but they would have gone into that game against Forest feeling just a little bit crestfallen, and that could have affected their confidence. Because you would normally have expected them to, no disrespects to your hometown team, to have beaten Forest quite comfortably, even though Forest are on a decent run of form themselves.
I think the way we beat Villa, it looked like a team that you would think, teams that have won titles in the past, they win games like that. Late winners. We used to talk about Fergie time, didn't they, back in the day? 91st minute winners and all this. It kind of, after Wednesday against Man City, I was a bit like, do this team really have what it takes? Are they ready yet to win a title? There's still question marks, there's still hurdles to overcome, but I think they showed that, listen, we're gonna take this all the way to the wire, and
absolutely.
So it was a brilliant.
Shall I tell you something else? That was encouraging for me to see that, because let's be honest, the defeat against Everton, some of those old memes and those old criticisms were coming back in, weren't they? Saying, with Arsenal, if you want to beat them, all you got to do is be a bit physical, rough them up a bit, and they don't want it. And that wasn't necessarily my point of view, but I had heard that being said by a number of fans, especially some of the neutrals. Look, here they go, look, get in amongst them, and they don't quite fancy it. And then you go to the Brentford and the Man City games, again, there were certain question marks against the team's mentality. In that City game, some people said that we seem to be lacking a little bit of belief in the second half of that game, when City really upped the levels. So to go behind at Villa and then to come back and play the way they did, I've got some of the stats there. Let's face it, even though some people will say, you were quite fortunate to get the win in the end, if you look at the actual stats and the way the game played out, Arsenal were by far the dominant team in the game. Let's look at the shots on goal. Villa 7, Arsenal 20, and let's be honest, Villa at home, they set out like they were playing, like they were the away side. Shots on target was 5 each, but the possession, Arsenal 67%, completed passes, Arsenal 571 to Villa 293. Pass accuracy, again, Arsenal headed that 85% to Villa 76%. So I
think the dominant team.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They did deserve it. It wasn't like a fluke.
It's about taking them chances.
Exactly.
I think you look at the game, Ramsdale, the save he makes from Bailey,
amazing.
pivotal. That's as important as a goal, you know, because that changes everything if he doesn't save that.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say with Arsenal, we got to. Those big chances, you've got to put them away.
I was about to say, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, because there's going to be a day where that Jorginho goal, well, it's Martinez, but we're giving Jorginho the credit. You know, that doesn't happen, and we're sitting here going, Eddie's missed a sitter, like, Odegaard's missed a sitter. Do you know what I mean? When you win the game, it covers that up, especially away from home. You know, you've got to take, because like you said there, we had 20 shots, but we've had 5 each on target.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you have 20 shots if you're not hitting the target.
That's true. I've got to ask you then. So we touched on it briefly, and you said you'd come back to it. Now is your time. Now
this is where you set me up.
No, the reason why I'm so keen to get your response to this, because I know you watch football a lot. You're very astute in the way you analyse players. And listen, you're a former professional footballer. Playing up front was your thing, so you know more than most about this type of situation. Eddie's performances in the last few games. What are you saying, bro? I mean,
do you know what? I'm gonna. The first thing I'll say to try and defend him a bit, because I told you he's setting me up here already. Do you know what it is? I'll be honest with you. Playing up front for Arsenal, I don't think is easy. You know,
no.
When you look at the way Mikel Arteta plays, not many strikers have really thrived up front under his system.
There was a certain guy that
Ober had a good 6 months under him, but even then he went downhill. Lacazette struggled. Jesus, I thought, did really well, but wasn't banging goals in. I don't think it's easy playing up front for Arsenal. He wants a lot more than what maybe Pep is asking from Haaland. But, you know, to go on the other side of things, I just think Eddie's running out of steam a little bit. Ultimately he's at the club to be our backup striker to Jesus. Jesus is the main man, and you've seen over the last few weeks that, you know, maybe he's hit the ceiling a little bit. And I think the problem with Nketiah for me is when he doesn't score, I don't think he does enough else. There's a lot of games where Jesus doesn't score, and
I can't pick you up on that though, because it could be argued that third goal that we got, the Jorginho, the pivotal goal, was Eddie was the catalyst for that, because I seem to remember him chasing down one of the defenders in the corner there. I think it's Tyrone Mings, and then he ends up giving the ball away.
Okay.
And then that turns into a move in which the ball comes across to Jorginho and he hits it first time in the net. So
no, listen, the work rate, you're never going to question his work rate. But me, I always say, listen, I don't particularly praise players for working hard. I think at the top level of sport, that's got to be a given.
I think what you're trying to say is you don't judge strikers on work rate.
No, you don't, man. You don't. Listen,
which is fair enough, really.
We got to look at it like this. We're going to go in the Champions League next season, right? We should qualify. Hopefully. Yeah, we should be there. The level's got to go up at Arsenal, which means sometimes some players fall away. Now, I'm not saying that is Eddie, because he's been given a long contract. The manager likes him. Balogun's top goal scorer in France at the moment. He's going to come back in the summer. There's going to be a big conversation there. Do you keep him? Do you sell him? Also, I think we've seen this season we could do with an alternative type of striker. I'd like to see a physical striker, a big maybe target man.
A Weghorst.
No, I don't want a horse. No, not Weghorst. But listen, I'd love to see a Osimhen, a Vlahovic, and Ivan Toney, somebody that's got that strength back to goal. I think it's important you have two different options, and
somebody, let's face it, somebody who's pretty clinical as well, which is what Ivan Toney is.
Yeah. So
let's be honest.
So for me, I don't think you can afford to have one striker that you say, listen, he's really good, and the next one. Eddie's still quite inexperienced. When you look at the amount of games he's played for a 23-year-old, hasn't played that much first team football. He had the loan at Leeds, come back to Arsenal, he's been on the bench for a long time. He still looks like he's figuring out his game for me. And sometimes when you're at a top level club, you know, you're going to have days like the Villa game where he misses a big chance, but can you afford him to miss that? That can be the difference between winning a title and not winning a title. So listen, I think overall he's done well since he's come in, but I still question whether he's at the level at the moment. I still don't think he's at that level. If I'm
I
being
think
honest.
that's fair enough to raise that as an issue, because let's face it, a lot of fans are. Before we return to that, I've just got to read out a couple of super chats, and both of them seem to be suggesting that there's a problem with the FANZONE app. So actually, that might be something that our technical team might want to look at. Super chat here from Lawrence Emmanuel. In fact, he submitted 2 super chats. Can you tell your producer that the FANZONE app is not working? When I clicked onto it, it says there's a live show at the moment, but I can't get through. And he's repeated that. So if our technical team could have a look at that, I would appreciate it. Looking at the comments, you're getting a lot of love on there, bro.
Yeah, man.
Big C units.
Big up. C unit business, you know. FANZONE's on the way, apparently. They're saying it's working now.
Okay. Shaq says this was a must win.
Yeah.
And listen, I can't hide my thoughts. When I sat here at 2-2 and the game seemed to be petering out to a 2-2 draw, I was sat here thinking, how am I going to put a positive spin on this? Because I was actually feeling like, you know what, it's a long way back. I think that's the way I would phrase it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long way back from this. It's not impossible, long way back. But, you know, such as
We're going to get some callers on, apparently.
Right, take us away. Who's on the line? Who wants to talk to us? Hugo. Is Hugo here? He's not come up yet. I can't see him. Hi, Hugo. Oh,
Yes,
there he
Hugo.
is. Hi, Hugo. Right, first up, tell us where you're calling from, bro, so the people know. I can't hear him.
No, I can't hear him.
Apologies for this, people. A few technical
Can you hear
people
me?
will get there. I still can't hear him.
I can hear you.
Oh, I can hear him now.
you,
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Go on, Hugo.
All good now? Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from?
From Texas, United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? What do you think of the game on the weekend? Then, have you recovered from it yet? It took me about 2 days to recover from that, bro.
I mean, I was always confident, to be honest with you. I thought we're always going to come back, you know. I didn't really panic, to be quite honest with you.
So are you telling me, Hugo, that with 92 minutes and 40 odd seconds on the clock, you were thinking that? Because I'm going to be honest, I wasn't thinking like that. So you're telling me that you thought we right, okay.
Yeah, even when we went 2-1 down, I just thought, because yes, the first half wasn't good, but we didn't concede a lot of chances. It was just us being bad, not too really good on the ball. But I just felt we needed to win the game. The boys knew it, and I just felt we had enough to win. Really, that was a good game in the second half.
Yeah.
Let
me ask you, what do you say to those people who say that a year ago we would not have won a game like this? So what they're basically saying is that the mentality in the team has changed so much that if you go back a year, there's no way we would have won it. But this team is capable of pulling out wins like this. What do you think to that?
Oh yeah, and we've been doing it consistently this season. A few of the games that have gone down, we always come back, and you have to give credit to Arteta and what he's done with the team. To be quite honest, after that City game, my reaction was quite different. I was actually encouraged. I was actually beginning of Arteta, because if you look at the kind of players the quality of players we have, you compare that with City, with Chelsea, it is miles away, really. Yeah. And the fact that we were supposed to win that game, right? And the fact that Eddie missed those chances, is just like Arteta is doing a good job. And I agree with you guys. I think we have to get a striker, a big guy. Ivan Toney is a guy that I feel Arsenal has to go after this summer, because I just feel he'll give us that physical presence. He's just 26. He's good on the ball. We don't have that kind of striker up front that can cause problems for defenders and stuff like that. So it just goes to show you how far we've come as a team, and big up to Arteta as well.
I think the angle a lot of people took on that Man City game was it was fine margins. A couple of those goals were avoidable, and if Eddie scores that header, you're 1-0 up, it can be a different game. So even though overall 3-1, it looked very disappointing, you think just those little differences, and we could have maybe got over the finish line there.
And Eddie had a chance to square up Martinelli, if you remember.
First half,
he had 3, plays that he could have made a difference, and it's just little details. Then City gets 3 chances and put everything away, and it's just a difference,
Although I think we should be fair to Arsenal and Eddie and say that we're not the only ones afflicted by that. So, for example, if you look at Man City's game against Forest at the weekend, far and away the better side on the day, far and away more possession, more chances, but they had a bad day in front of goal. Likewise, if you look at Chelsea against Southampton, similar kind of thing. By far and away had the most possession, shots on goal, just couldn't get the goal. That maybe on another day, they would have been a lot more successful. So it's a case then of what do you think Eddie's done in terms of holding the fort until Gabriel Jesus gets back? How do you think he's performed so far?
So far, so good. Obviously, the past few games has not been where we want him to be at, really. And I don't really blame him, to be honest with you. He's not at Saka's level. He's not that guy yet. I feel he still has a lot to learn. His game has to improve a whole lot. He has to be efficient enough in goal, and but so far he's been a little bit underwhelming the past few games. But listen, Arsenal is a big club, a big team. If we're going for the title, you really need good players up front that will take chances. Yeah,
that's true. Either that, or we'll have to share the goals around.
Eddie, though, exactly.
Okay,
but again, he works hard for the team. And
he does.
Before I go, I heard the point you made before. Listen, a striker that works hard for the team is, if you look at Jesus, he doesn't really score a lot of goals, but he works hard for the team. His impact in the team goes a long way. A good striker, even if you're not scoring goals, you're making things happen, making things happen, and you can cover up for a lot of things that you don't score.
Yeah, amazing, yeah.
Well, hey, man, big up AFTV.
Yes, you go. Big up, bro.
Yeah, big up you go, man. Shout out to all the Texas Massive, and listen, thank you. You must call back again. Thank you. Appreciate that very much.
For sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's interesting about Eddie as well, because you and myself had spoken when Gabriel Jesus got injured, and I think we gave Eddie a little mini target, didn't we? I think it was about
10 goals.
10 goals. I think he's on 6 or 7 at the moment.
So he can get that.
I think he'll get that. I think he'll get that. I mean, there's a number of games to go, and we do know that Gabriel Jesus is in training. He's running apparently, albeit on running machines. So I wouldn't imagine it's going to be too long for him to come back.
I think also what doesn't help Eddie is, if he's having a tough game, you can't even take him off. Unless you put Martinelli or Trossard up there, which Arteta doesn't seem to want to do it. So sometimes as a striker, you need to be taken off. You don't want to, but sometimes a tough game, get him off, 20 minutes to go, but he's playing 90 minutes every week. So that's what I am saying in his defence. It's not an easy situation to be in for him.
And it's interesting you mentioned Martinelli there, because as I alluded to earlier in the show, there was a few players that a lot of the fans had highlighted were out of form, and his name was one of the most prominent that popped up in that list. It was him, Xhaka, who else we said? Yeah, definitely him and Xhaka. And Zinchenko, that was the other one. So this idea that you're going to put him in the middle and then he's going to rediscover his form, I'm not so sure if that would have quite worked out. I mean, don't get me wrong, he scored a good goal on Saturday. It was made kind of easy for him, but even so, he took it well, celebrated even before he got to the end of the goal.
Hopefully that goal kind of
exactly, that's what I'm coming to. Give him some confidence, because we do need him going forward. Got to ask you as well, was you in agreement with that change of lineup? Because effectively he was dropped for this game.
I mean,
Trossard came.
I think Trossard done enough to earn the start. There seems to be a little thing going off at Arsenal at the moment. That left-hand side of our team, we're a bit lopsided. Everything down the right seems quite efficient. Ben White's got a good partnership with Saka. Odegaard drifts to the right. on that left, because Zinchenko goes into the middle, Xhaka's not really getting forward as much to help. It seemed a hard shift for Trossard as well, and a hard shift for Martinelli. I was saying on my stream earlier, I think the last time somebody played well on the left-hand side for us was Trossard against Man City away. And in that game,
in the FA Cup,
Kieran Tierney was at left-back, getting on the overlap. So it's just that, having that inverted fullback sometimes, it means you're 1 against 2 sometimes on the wing, which ain't easy. But
it's definitely not easy.
I think Martinelli might actually come back in this week.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think that goal, he will think, you know what, his confidence back up now, let me put him back in at home. Well, it's away, innit, against Leicester. So.
I must admit, I'd go with the same formation, bro.
Would you go Trossard?
I would still show some faith in Trossard. I mean, listen, Trossard had some good moments before he was taken off. But listen, I do understand the change being made, because whilst Martinelli, let's be honest, he was dropped. It's not as if he's not going to get used for the game, because he has attributes that are perfect for coming on as an impact player. So I've got to ask you as well, though, Saka, just how important is he to this team, man? I mean, I'm gonna be honest again and say there was a couple of times, notably in the second half, when he went down holding his leg there, my heart was in my mouth, because he is so important to this team.
Yeah, I think for a guy of that age to be that important, it shows how good he is. I think the main thing we all want to see the contract signed. Do you know what I mean? Because I was saying after that Man City game, realistically, Mahrez 31. You could see Pep having him on the right hand side for them. So listen, he's strong as well. He's strong. He gets kicked all the time. He's never injured. So he's. I think
Jorginho said after the game that, you know what I mean, it's quite unfair that he seems to be getting targeted by the. I think it was Jorginho or Zinchenko who's saying that, you know, referees need to offer him more protection. But anyway, I'm hearing from our technical staff that we got. Is it Raids on the line? Raids, what you saying, bro?
See you.
Yo, tell him again, bro.
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
What's happening? Where you at, bro?
Dallas, Texas, y'all. What's going on, bro?
Come on, man. Wow. Talk to me about the game. You recovered, man. I felt like I was hungover the next morning. I didn't even drink.
6:30 game over here, you know? We had to wake up early in the morning to watch that game.
Yeah.
One of them games you don't get too much of them in one season was just, you know, bonkers. But trust me, we need to calm down, y'all. We need to chill. Right. We need to believe in the coach and these guys. They're doing the absolute possible best they can, and we just need to support them, man. Like, I hear what y'all saying about Eddie and all of that, but come to think of it, as of now, we don't have a striker. Like, we really don't. You might think Trossard can't do that, but can he hold a play? I don't think so. I think Eddie's the only striker we got that immune. I mean, he's not up to the levels of Gabriel Jesus, of course, but he does what he can. And I remember y'all gave him a target of 10 goals, like you said.
10 Premier League goals. 10 Premier League.
Yeah, he probably would get it.
I think he's going to exceed that.
Yeah, he probably would get it, Laurie. I feel he's pretty close on 6 or 7 goals at the moment.
I think it's 7.
I mean, the next couple games, I feel we should. I feel so. I'm not saying it's 100%, but I just feel like we should get it. Ain't no more Coleman music, bro.
No more Coleman music, man. He's moving like the boss now. Do you know what's crazy? Arteta's probably he's probably a victim of his own success, because at the start of the season we was like, yo, get top 4. All of a sudden we're in a title race, which is way more than we expected. And then when we've had a little blip, we're like, the season's mash up, you know what I mean? So I suppose we kind of got to embrace what's happening and enjoy it, you know. But it's hard because we got that dream of winning the title, you know. We're clinging to that hope.
Right, so let me ask you a question, So we get the win. How significant do you think this win is? Is this the day we look back and say, look, you know what? Upon such wins, titles are won, or do you think it's a game that we were going to win anyway and we move on to the next one? What's your mentality around the win?
Absolutely, Laurie. You know, the games we've had before this game, trust me, all those 3 games, none of them was easy. We just thought we were going to breeze through those games. That's not true. We had Everton. I can't remember the last time we won at Everton. We had Brentford, that I thought we probably could have, gotten across if not for the, VAR and all that. And we had Man City. So none of those games were easy. Those were one of the games I would assume we should, have troubles with. And for Brentford, maybe we should have gotten the win. We didn't get it. For the Aston Villa game, it was not easy either. We were playing an ex-coach who, you remember what he did to us when he was in Spain at Europa League. It still bites me up until date. So I was thinking something like that was going to happen. Trust me. But I mean, we just had to do what we had to do. To be honest, I was so impressed. Like at 2-1, I was thinking, nah, man, it's happening again. But I mean, we came back, and it's just awesome, bro. I mean,
because if you see the way the players and the manager and the coaching staff, I mean, apparently there was even, I'm hearing, there's a little altercation with one of the Arsenal staff in the press room. But anyway, just the way the Arsenal team and the fans and everybody was celebrating that win on Saturday, I think there was a huge weight lifted off their shoulders and a kind of renewed purpose, a re-energizing of the team, if you like. And that for me was why this win was so significant.
True. I mean, if you've ever played football, like winning, what winning does to you. Like
absolutely.
Like it doesn't even matter if it's like the smallest scale of football. You just want to keep. Sometimes it just happens, like because you're just used to it. It's like culture. You just want to win. And we haven't done that in like 3 games, and we just had to. We just had to. And of course, I mean, I'm sorry, people can say whatever they want to say, but man, we're celebrating the whole way, man.
I'm telling you, man. And do you know what it is as well? When you win a game, like if you beat someone 3-0, it's good, but winning the way we won, it almost means more than the 3 points, because it's like it sends a message to everyone. People thought we were done. I was getting messages at half time, my new fans saying, "Oh, what's happened to your title challenge?" By the end of it, I couldn't get no replies from no one. So I think it was more than a win. It was to send that message and to let Man City know we're still in the race.
And I just want to pick up on a point that Ray's made, which I totally agree with him with. And I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. When you were saying about the habit of winning is so important. I remember when we played City in the FA Cup and we lost to City, and I was saying to people that I was disappointed with that loss on 2 fronts. The fact that we went out the FA Cup, a competition that we normally do very well in fact we're the record holders of winning that competition. But secondly, and perhaps even more importantly, I was making the point that you got to be careful when you lose games, because as winning can become a habit, but unfortunately losing can also become a habit, and it does sap your confidence. And a lot of people were saying, don't worry about that, we'll get back to winning ways next week against Everton, and you saw what happened. So you make a very good point about that, Race.
Do that.
Right, anything you want to say in closing? Because we've got a few other calls.
In closing, I'm just going to say this couple, coming games should be the ones that we shouldn't have these bleeps on, it was understandable for them, the last 3 games. But at this point now, we should start, gathering them points. We should make sure we get that 5-point lead back by winning our outstanding game against Everton, and let's see what happens after that. We just have to keep going and support the team. All right,
excellent.
Big up Raids, man.
Some very good points.
See you then.
He's on that see you.
Man,
listen, bro, thank you very much. You must call again and let us know what you think.
I bet.
Take care, man. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, it makes a good point. I mean, our next 3 games: Leicester away. I think we've got Everton at home, Bournemouth at home.
We're going to talk about that Leicester game soon. But before we do that, we've got Daniel on the line. Daniel. Hey, Daniel. What's going on, bro?
Can't hear him.
Can't hear him. Yeah, well, while we're waiting.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Daniel.
So good evening, Laurie. Good evening, Curtis.
What are you saying, bro? So what do you think? How significant was the win on Saturday? Was Saturday the day we look back at the end of the season saying, you know what, that was a day then I truly believed that Arsenal were going to win the title? Or was you on that anyway?
Saturday was kind of, because there are a lot of matches to be played towards the end of the season, so we can't just pinpoint on Saturday. Though Saturday was a significant win in terms of confidence-wise.
Yeah.
So you kind of put it together and say, yes, Saturday winning was important, but we still have 16 games to go. A lot of twist and turn can happen all over the season, so you can't just pinpoint it and say, Saturday was a turning point. Although I think we're still going to win the league, I'm still confident about that.
But let me ask you a question and be honest. I want you to be honest. Keep it real. So we're the 92nd minute, and but there's 6 minutes left. It's 2-2. Are you sitting there thinking, oh no man, this is not going to happen? Or was you one of those eternal optimists thinking, yeah man, we can still do this?
To be honest, I actually thought we were going to win the match, but it was like 60-40, up of 40% and less up of 60%. But I think by the first 40% I had was much higher in terms of spirit for the boys to win the game. But honestly, I can't tell you for a fact that I was 100% confident the boys were going to win that game.
Yeah, I think Daniel makes a good point. It was a significant win, but there's still, obviously, we've still got to go to City. We've still got to go to Anfield. So it's kind of clawed us back into a controlled position because we're 2 points clear of a game in hand. But I think, they've still got a lot of big hurdles to overcome.
There's still a long way to go. But do you think that win, Daniel, on Saturday gives us a psychological edge, or do you think it's still pretty much up in the air?
Yes. I think Saturday gave the fans more of a psychological edge more than the players themselves, because a lot of fans have been going over the board with comments of bottling the title. And something they forget to recognize, before the season started, nobody was expecting us to even be challenging for the title.
Right.
So the point that everybody was saying, we're going to bottle the league. No, we're not bottling the league. We are fighting for the league. Even if we don't win the league, it's still a good season, but it's disappointing we didn't win the title. But I've seen a lot of comments after we lost to Manchester City that Arsenal bottled the league. The elephant on top of the tree seems to be tired there. But fortunately and unfortunately for Manchester City, it seems the top of the table is too hot for them to handle. So the elephants just love sitting on top of the tree.
Very nicely put. Very nicely. Got to ask you as well, Jorginho, what do you think his impact has been since he's come in the team?
Jorginho is one signing which I think I told Robbie the last time I was on, that Jorginho signing was a good signing, because at the moment we don't need a player that is exciting. We just need a player that can do the job. A lot of people wanted a Casado, myself included. I'm not going to play the devil's advocate right now, but January signings are not signings that can get you excited. January signings are signings that can get you over the line, and I think signings like Jorginho are the kind of signings, and Trust are the kind of signings that gets you over the line, like see on Saturday. Those are the kind of signings we need. So not the kind of a flashy emoji kind of signing. But I think the signing of Jorginho, if you put it on paper, I think he has actually paid his transfer fee just by that goal on Saturday. I really love the signing of Jorginho.
I've got to keep it 100, right? From my perspective, we've heard what Curtis has said. For me, it's not that I was denigrating Jorginho's credentials or not rating him as a player. I think it was because I'd become, I wouldn't say fixated with a Casido, but I was excited by Casido in a way that Jorginho wouldn't have excited me, if you see if that makes sense. So I guess I guess it's expectation. I was expecting him to bring in Casido. I thought they might get him. I thought they might, really push the boat out to try and get him. So when we didn't get him, and then I was told we were getting Jorginho, my natural reaction was of disappointment. But to be fair, a lot of people here, including my brother Robbie, was very quick to get the stats out and say, listen, man, Jorginho, he's good at what he does, he's experienced and blah, blah, blah. So towards the end, I was like, okay, fair enough, I'll give him a chance. But I'm pleased that, if anything, I've been proven wrong. So long may it continue.
I just wanted to say something also. The last time I was on with you and Ali, you were saying something that the Manchester City matches are the flashy kind of games. They are not the deciding games of the season. Remember when you said something like that? Yeah. So the Jorginho signing are not a flashy signing like Caicedo. Caicedo is the kind of flashy signings that you think, oh, this one can get us over the line. Jorginho signings are the signings like playing Brentford, playing Wolverhampton Wanderers. You just need those points. Those are the kind. That's the kind of signing.
Yeah.
Just
the practical ones.
Do
you know where I think the disappointment came from with that? Because listen, he is a good player. He's proved that, and his CV tells you that. I think as Arsenal fans, we've got too used to not getting our plan A's. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We're seeing other clubs, because we know that Arteta wanted Mudryk. We know he wanted João Felix and Caicedo. So I think it was kind of more. We wanted to see the board give him what he wanted with the position that we're in. So, but I get your point. But there is going to be there's going to need to be a time where they do get him his number one signings. You know.
Okay, Daniel. We got to move on. But listen, thank you very much for your call, and we do hope you'll call back again in the future. Perhaps after we beat Leicester, you'll call in and tell us again how you expect us to go on and win the league. So thank you very much, bro.
All the best.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you.
Hopefully speak again soon.
All the best.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, moving swiftly on. I understand we got another caller. Christian from France. This should be a good one, especially as Curtis has got on his French colours.
The France pack on, man.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Bonjour. Si, you net.
Another one.
You know.
Big up yourself, bro.
Big up, bros. Big up, my bros. I really enjoy. Sorry for my English. I'm practicing every day. You know.
You speak better English than Curtis. He's from Nottingham.
No, I thought he was going to say Harry Kane. Man said me, you know.
But I hear everything you say. I understand well. It's not a problem.
Yeah, good. I must say you've got a look of Colo Torre about you with the glasses. You look like Colo Torre with glasses. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No problem. So the other day, the match on the football match we have against
Villa.
Villa. Sorry, Villa. My emotion, you know. It was incredible. I didn't expect that result. I was really scared before because
So were you like me? Were you like me? You kind of went from 0 to 100 because before Jorginho gets that goal, I was pretty much at 0. When he gets that goal, and I realised, listen, we're going to win this game. I'm full on into it again. I hear you.
Exactly what I feel. It was really a stressful game. I hear the comments. The comments were I hear every comments I heard is about Curtis, because I heard I'm listening to you the same times I saw the match. Watching the game, you know. And when we close the gap and we have the equalizer from Zinchenko, it was absolutely incredible. I was like, now we're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them. We're gonna run to them. And at this moment of time, I was like, I'm sure 100% that we're gonna beat them. Maybe 2 goals more.
Wow.
And then our captain fell up. With the missing
the
of
opportunity.
Odegaard. I was like, my head, I was down. And I say, maybe it's not good. This football match is not good. Something's gonna happen. But I was keeping, trying to support the team. Say, okay, we're gonna go through this. We're gonna find a way to beat them. And Jorginho was incredible with this shot,
Yeah,
so,
he deserved it, man. Great goal. So do you think, as we're kind of thinking at that moment on Saturday when we win that game, that's going to be quite a pivotal moment in the season from here on inwards? Because 100%. What I'm saying is, my theory is that the win on Saturday and the manner of the win, it's not just the fact that we won, it's the way that we come from the goals down to go on and win the game in such dramatic fashion. To me, that's re-energized the team in a way that a normal win might not have done, if you see what I mean, if that makes sense.
100%. It was like it's what's written, you know.
Yes.
This
absolutely.
scenario, the whole scenario was written.
Yeah.
All the fix, when you put it together after the match, you say, okay, it was on a Saturday at yours it's like 12:30 in French.
Yeah.
It's 1:30, you know. In Paris it's 1:30. We don't like this kind of game. Villa Park, which is not a great place to be when we need points, you know, after the lose against City. So I say Emery tax. The last time the last time
there were so many factors.
Played against him.
So many factors.
Yeah. So many. Yeah. The last time we played against his team, it was Villarreal in Europa League.
That's right.
And they beat us. So I was like, I'm.
Well, did you see the way Emery celebrated their first goal?
Yeah. There weren't no respect as their manager.
Yeah, he badly wanted to win that game.
He wanted it, man.
He wanted that game.
And I agree with what you're saying. You look at a lot of things. It was like it was written. Zinchenko's first Premier League goal.
That's true.
Jorginho's first goal for Arsenal, although obviously it wasn't given. Even the fact the ball hits Emery on the back of his head. You just couldn't write that, could you, man? You know what I mean? Once a gooner, always a gooner.
Always a gooner.
Always a gooner. And then Emery was complaining after the game, saying, why did Martinez go forward for the corner?
What did you think of that? Did you think he was...
No, surely you're 3-2 down, 94th minute.
He was reeling out some stats saying that the chances of it working is less than 20%.
Yeah, he was
worth
mad.
Going for him. Yeah.
He was mad. I read the article about the interview of Unai Emery, and he says like I didn't ask in my whole career I didn't ask to my goalkeepers to go in front for a corner or kick off corner, and I never asked him to do that. So I think it's a bit hypocrite, because if he got a header and he scored the equalizer,
he would have got
the credit. I think it's not the same scenario.
I think it could have been he felt that he was being undermined as a manager, because what would normally happen is that you will normally see in that situation a goalkeeper frantically trying to communicate with the bench, and he will say, "Is it all right for me to go?" And they'll say yes or no.
I think Emmy's just probably ran himself.
He just took it out of it. But listen, I've been told we've got another caller, so we have to move on. But listen, bro, thank you very much for your call. We hope you will ring back, and we hope that the next time you ring back, we'll be in similar good spirits. So thank you very much.
Hope to.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Take care.
Take care, bro.
Right, who we got on the line now? Michael, another French caller. Must be the French top.
It's the French top. You know we're big in France, isn't it, Thierry?
Yeah.
Hey, what's happening, bro?
What are you saying, bro?
I'm good. You guys?
Whereabouts in France are you going?
Growing up, like an hour from Lyon.
Oh, okay, Lyon. Right. Yeah. Nice one. Yeah. Right, so bro, what you got for us today?
I mean, this football thing, this is giving some emotions that you cannot control sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Last Saturday, I was completely drained from watching that game. I was drained.
Yeah,
after
man, you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Seriously, I just had to go for a nap after the game. But we did very well. Like the third goal, it was so massive for us, and the win as well, it was very, very massive for us, and that will keep us just going ahead. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
But before that, the City game, I was really disappointed, because I made a promise to my girlfriend that when we win the league, I'm gonna propose to her. So anytime we're going for this game, all my emotions goes up and down, up and down, up and down.
You don't know whether you need to buy that ring or not, innit? It's whether we win or not, you know?
Exactly. That's it.
Well, I'll tell you what. A few weeks ago, we had a guy from America come over, and he proposed to his girlfriend during the AFTV fan cam. So you got to promise us that if we do win the league and you do get married like that, you'll have to come over and do it over here, and you can come pay us a visit, man.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
But I got to ask you. So over here, we got this expression. You probably use it in France as well. It's called 0 to 100. So I was saying that I went from 0 to 100 on the 93rd minute when we got that goal. Was that so? I'm assuming that was the same for you.
Yeah, I was just jumping all over.
Yeah.
My head was not. I don't know what I was thinking at that moment. That last minute goal.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was running through my mind because I was not expecting that. Like, no, it was the third goal that I was not expecting. But the fourth goal from Martinelli, he was already celebrating before he scored that goal.
That's right.
It was absolutely massive.
Amazing. Because I must admit, when I was watching that, and I would normally describe myself as a glass half full rather than half empty guy. But even so, when you think of the chances that we'd missed, even though we were easily the better team, we'd missed a number of chances. And I just thought this game is just going to meander out into a draw. And with it, it could be our title aspirations go with it. So for Jorginho to get the goal like that, and all of a sudden it just changed everything. So I guess I'm going to ask you, how significant do you think that win is? Do you think that come the end of the season, this is the game that we might look back on and say, you know what, this was the day that made me firmly believe that we're going to win the title?
Yeah, I think that win on Saturday was very, very important. Imagine we lost that game, we drew. I was even actually going for a draw at a certain point.
Yeah.
But after the third goal and then the fourth goal, like, it was very, very important for us. And then next weekend, I think we play in Leicester City.
That's right.
And then we'll just go that way. It is a very massive win, and we must continue that way. If not, we don't want to look back and then say, "Oh no,
we're losing here." But okay.
An important and a significant one for us this last Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, bro. Thank you very much. Appreciate the call. You must call us back. Hopefully, you'll give us a call next week when we've beaten Leicester. But listen, bro, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bro. Big up all the French massive.
Yeah, man.
Nice. Yeah, so it seems like we got another call. Anthony's on the line.
Hi, Laurie.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Yes, Anthony.
Hi.
Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm London.
Oh, London. Whereabouts in London you calling from?
South London. I called the other day that you're on with Lee Gordon. You remember?
Oh, right. Yeah, Guna Lee.
Yeah. Talking about tactic. Yeah. I was so crestfallen. I mean, that was one game that I thought we were gonna go smash it, and unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of sticks from my mates, and but I just knew that if Arteta changed something, and the thing was, I mean, it was very clear to see that we need to give Trossard. I think Trossard it's one different tool that we've got on the left flank that we need to maximize.
So basically, you're saying even though Martinelli scored the fourth goal on Saturday, you would next week against Leicester, you would start with Trossard.
Definitely.
I agree with him. Curtis, what do you think?
Listen, it's a tough one because Martinelli's just given him a massive contract. He's come on, he played the pass for Jorginho for the shot, and then he scores the goal at the end. So his confidence is going to be sky high, but also obviously to pull Trossard back out of the team would be a little bit unfit. Listen, it's a nice decision to make. These are kind of problems we want Arteta to have. So it's a tough one. It is a tough one who he goes for.
Curtis, can I just address the issue of the contract? The contract doesn't win you. A big contract does not win you the game. We just want to win, I mean, the man should be given a chance. He's a new quantity because I still respect and rate Martinelli high up there, but I think he's been figured out and he's a bit jaded in my own opinion. So Trossard has got skill. He's very, very skillful. There's no doubt about it, and you couldn't tell what he's going to do. So I think for now, Trossard should be starting on the left flank, and then maybe at the end of the first half or sometime in the second half, then change it.
Do you know why I thought? Do you know why I thought he might have gone for Martinelli? Is because if you look at Leicester yesterday against Man United, they struggled with the pace of Rashford. They were they seemed very slow at the back. A simple ball over the top opened them up. But I get what you're saying. Trossard actually did all right against Villa, and I think it would be quite harsh to drop him, to be honest.
Yeah, but with all due respect to Leicester, I think their backline is in tatters. I watched it. I couldn't believe my eyes what I was seeing, especially the second half. They were just all over the place. But then this should be a warning for us that we shouldn't take Leicester for granted.
Although to be fair to Leicester, I think they were the better side in the first half. I think even the Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag admitted as much. But to go back to the interesting point you raised about Trossard and Martinelli, what I would say about that is, the best thing about that is that I think it's important that you got two players of very high quality fighting out for a first team spot, and that can only enhance the team. So long may it continue for me.
Yeah, and there's another thing I wanted to point out. I can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another thing I wanted to point out is everybody keeps going on about Folarin Balogun, that he's banging in goals in France. Well, the last two matches I've watched him play in France, I must say the quality is poor. Even though the goals, the quality. Trust me, guys, the quality. I played football when I was much younger. I played semi-professional in Nigeria, but the quality is really, really, really poor. So I think, with that credentials, the goals were scored in France, but can he do it in England? That's a big question.
Yeah, I think I get you. I've watched the French league quite a bit this year, and
some people call it.
Listen, I think the only thing I'd say about the French league though is very physical, which is like what the Premier League is physically demanding, and I think we don't know whether Balogun is the finished article or not. But what I would say is I think he deserves to come back and have the pre-season, so that we can have a good look at him and figure out what level he is at.
Just interesting. What do you think of Eddie then? Because obviously Eddie is the man in possession now. What's your thoughts on him?
Eddie, I've got to apologize to him. Okay, I was one of those that was calling for his head, but he proved all of us wrong. He's just raised his game, and long may he continue. I think there's still.
So you're happy with Eddie right now, then?
Yeah, very happy.
He's not scored in a few games. He's not scored in a few games, and to be fair, he's had certainly in the last 2, maybe even 3 games, some really good opportunities that he's not taken. So you're saying you're not concerned about it?
Yeah, he has carried us. I mean, even the pressure he puts on the defenders is something that's commendable, in my opinion. I mean, he puts pressure, and hopefully our main man will be back, and then. Everything will fall in place, but
so you're not of the Curtis Shaw school of thought that says never mind about the pressure, it's the goals that count. So you're not that concerned about him not scoring every game or whatever.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine because we see goals from everywhere in the team, and that's the beauty of the team that we've got now. The goals could come from anywhere.
Okay.
Even I'm waiting for the day Ramsdale will score penalty.
Well, listen, bro. Thank you very much for your call. Appreciate that, and we hope you'll call back soon. Thank you very much.
All the best, bro.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Right. I understand we got another caller. The callers are coming through. The Wizard. You are the final caller today, man. So take it away, bro.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
I'm all right,
man.
Yeah, good. I want to give a shout out to the last French guy.
Okay.
You know someone's a true Arsenal fan when they hedge marriage against winning the league.
Listen, to let Arsenal dictate your relationship is very risky,
I was going to say his fiance is probably very impressed.
That's a big risk though. She wants the marriage. You're relying on Arsenal winning the league.
Yeah. I guess it's one way of getting your partner to be an Arsenal fan. Right?
Yeah. What's your thoughts anyway, man? What do you think of the game on the weekend? How are you feeling?
Oh man, it was a great game. But I want to go back because we spoke before the Brentford and Villa games and City games about the bounce back, right?
Yeah.
So I think like we played well versus Brentford. I don't know if you know much of the stats, but we had over 500 passes. They had I think 150. We absolutely did what we're supposed to do in that game.
If I could just stop you there, that's an interesting point because a lot of people have said to me that they didn't think we were very good against Brentford. In fact, some fans I spoke to said that they thought Brentford were the better side and that we were fortunate to get the draw. So you clearly don't think so, but carry on. Yeah.
No, I really don't think so because we controlled the game. But of course, when you're a team that controls possession and pushes high up, you are a bit exposed on the break, right? And those are the chances that Brentford had.
That's true.
And at the end of the day, you know, we did what we had to do. We just couldn't find the magic in the final third until the very end. That beautiful ball by Saka to Trossard, and still we draw 1-1 thanks to the ref. Like we did our job. That should have been a 1-0 to the Arsenal. In my opinion. Same against City, we played really well, but we
even in the second half.
Third, yeah, even in the second half.
Okay.
I think we matched them well. And the last time we did that was January 1st last year.
Okay.
When Gabriel got the double yellow.
Yeah.
Like I think that was a lot of people after that game were saying they've never seen a team match City like we did, even though we went on to lose 2-1. It's the same last Wednesday. I was at the game. The atmosphere was incredible.
Yeah.
I think we played very well. Eddie missed a couple of chances, and I think that's what it's down to. If you look even back to last season, the team learned to dominate games. Right? We got hit by injuries, a couple of bad refs decisions in the second half, and then the lack of experience is what cost it in the end. This season, every single game we've been dominating.
We certainly dominated on Saturday, but I want to ask you this, up until Jorginho scored a goal, and be honest now, don't just cap, you know what I mean? Tell the truth. Did you think that we were going to pull it back? Or get the win once they pull it back, get the win when, pre-93rd minute. Did you think we were going to get back?
Well, of course, when there's 2 minutes left, you don't think there's going to be a win. Like, what are the odds of that, right?
Yeah.
But we got it, and I think that's what's more important than the 3 points is the fact that the players, they worked their asses off 90 minutes and they got it in the end, right?
We definitely deserved it.
But going forward, if we're in a similar position where we have to grind out the results, the players now know after the Villa experience we can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why I was saying I thought it was such a significant win, because to turn things around, come from 2 goals down, come back and win in that manner, I think that's very significant.
Yeah, of course, because the players, right? If they worked that hard, because they were running their socks off, they were getting opportunities, but then they don't win, that's a big letdown, right? They'll feel they deserve to. Yeah, but if they win, then they go into the next game.
Yeah.
If they're in a similar situation, they'll think.
I've got to ask you,
we'll do it again.
In closing, we got Leicester this weekend. What's your thoughts on that game?
If we don't win, we're the better squad. That's my thoughts. I think we'll win. We should win.
Okay.
I think this group of players, they play like they are champions every single game. I haven't seen a single game this season where we didn't perform well. There's games where we perform well, where we don't find the magic in the final third.
Yeah.
There's actually a famous Pep Guardiola quote where he says, "I can do everything for the team in the first 2/3 of the pitch, but the last third is down to the magic." Right? And I think that's what we left.
That's interesting.
That's a good quote.
That is a good
like
quote. Yeah, that is a good.
Yeah.
But listen, bro, thank you very much for your call. Appreciate that. Glad to see you still keeping the faith. Hopefully, speak to you again next week, and we'll be talking about another Arsenal win.
All the
thank
best
you very
with
much.
it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to wrap things up soon. I just want to get your thoughts very briefly on the game coming up this weekend. It's another massive game, of course. Big game. Leicester away. Good team. What's your thoughts, bro?
It's a dangerous game, isn't it? Because you look, anyone who watched that game yesterday against Man United, obviously in the end they've lost 3-0. I think, like you said, in that first half, they had chances.
They did.
They could have, if it weren't for De Gea, they would have scored a couple.
Yeah.
So they have picked up in recent weeks. They beat Villa. They've pulled away a little bit from that relegation zone. And it is another ground that has given us problems over the years. However, after beating Villa the way we did, that training ground should be absolutely bouncing today. You know, and I think the Wizards made a great point there. If you lose that game or draw, all of a sudden you feel a lot more fatigued. When you win a game, you find energy from somewhere. You know, so
I think I used that term actually. I said that win re-energized us. Yeah.
So I'm looking at it now. I mean, Smith Rowe was on the bench, didn't come on. He gets another week now to get some more fitness. Partey, we have to hope he comes back. Jesus gets a week closer. The Villa game means nothing if we lose to Leicester. We have to beat Leicester to keep that Villa game as significant as it was. After this Leicester game, we've got 2 home games against Everton and Bournemouth. Obviously, I don't want to look ahead too much, but they look very winnable. So we've got to go to Leicester. They've just lost 3-0 to Man United. I think their centre-back got injured as well. It's another absolute must-win game. We have to win this game. Can't afford to drop points. Man City go to Bournemouth. I think they'll probably win that.
And let's face it, Leicester, I think it's fair to say, currently 14th in the table. That's disappointing for them, really, isn't it? I mean, I know they, up until Sunday, they'd been on a decent run. But if we're being honest, I mean, they've played 23 games so far this season. They've only won 7. Drawn 3, lost 13, only 24 points.
Season.
Yeah, that's pretty poor for a team of Leicester's.
I think they had a really poor transfer window, didn't they? Didn't spend a lot of money. Rodgers under pressure. Listen, they're a slightly different team now. I don't think Vardy starts really up front anymore. They're playing Nacho up there. Listen, it'll be a tough game. They do
have some good players.
Yeah, Maddison and.
I mean, I'm a fan of Maddison. I think me and you spoke last season saying, before we would have. Both of us said
I think
that.
he'll be available for cheap in the summer.
Yeah.
Obviously, Yuri Tielemans going to be
chomping at
trying
the
to
bit.
prove a point out of contract in the summer. He'll be linked with Arsenal. For a few more months. But listen, you've got to win this game. You've got to win the game. I know Leicester, they do have some dangerous players.
They do.
But they've just lost 3-0 to United, and I thought defensively they were really poor. Going forward, they have got attacking threats, Harvey Barnes and players like that, but at the back they were.
It's interesting because their centre backs, is it Pies and who's the other guy?
They got the guy with the David Luiz.
They are known for their lack of pace.
Johnny Evans as well,
Right. So they are known apparently for their lack of pace. Pace is something that we have in abundance. With Martinelli, with even Eddie's rapid over 20 yards, Saka's quick, you know what I mean? So we do have pace in the team. So hopefully we'll be able to expose that.
I mean, that's why I was kind of saying, would I go back for Martinelli in this game? Because pace really looked like it hurt them. Against United. One ball and Rashford was in it. Twice it happened. Do you know what I mean?
Although that being said, Rashford at the moment, he's on a really hot run of form, isn't he?
I mean, I wanted him at Arsenal. Listen, they come for me.
That was the cue for him to come in there.
The comments, when I get one wrong, they will come for me. So when I get one right, I'm going to say
fair enough.
It's
interesting that people coming for you when you said you wasn't in favour of Jorginho. But I can remember, to be fair to you, you were saying you wanted Rashford, and the amount of stick you was getting.
I was getting stick. I was calling him Trashford and all sorts. But look, now you'd have to pay how much money to get him. But
that's besides the point.
No, I'm just
this
saying
game coming up this week, like you said, if we don't beat them, then it kind of makes the win. It kind of diminishes the win on Saturday a little bit. But you know what? I am going to say this. To me, the win against Villa was very, very important. I'll tell you why. Because you got to remember, prior to the Villa game, we'd not won in 4. If you don't beat Villa on Saturday,
Leicester
that's
looks
5
like
games.
A nightmare as well.
And then you got Leicester coming on top. So I can't emphasise how big a win that was. And like I said, it's re-energised the team. So much so that I think we're going to go to Leicester and beat them.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the whole week to recover. Man City got a Champions League game away at Leipzig, which is a tough game for them.
It is.
They'll get a lot more fatigue and injuries probably. So I think we'll beat Leicester. I think the way we won that game will just, I can see us going on a little run now.
Yeah.
I really can. I think beat Leicester, then you got 2 home games. I can see us beating Leicester. I think we'll beat them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that win on Saturday has queued this up nicely.
Yeah.
We can go there and get the win, keep the confidence high. Like you said, can you imagine the training ground?
Oh.
Buzzing, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll be all congratulating them back for, slapping each other and all the rest of it, man. So, yeah. So, give me a prediction.
I'm going to go for 3-1.
3-1.
I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. I would, just looking at the team, I would potentially, if Partey's back, I'd put him in. Put him in the team.
What about Martinelli for Trossard or Trossard for
I would
Martinelli?
probably, it seems a bit harsh, I would probably put Martinelli back in.
Okay.
Just because I think he's come on, he kind of got an assist. He played the pass to Jorginho. He scored the goal. And I just think Leicester's real lack of pace at the back, I think he could really hurt them.
Could take advantage.
Yeah, I think he could take advantage. I think sometimes when a player's confidence is high, put them back in. I think that goal and assist will give him a bit of a boost.
I can see where you're coming from.
I'd maybe give Xhaka, if Partey's back, I would give Xhaka a rest.
Yeah.
I'd play Jorginho and Partey, but...
Listen, I'm a fan of Granit Xhaka, but I've got to say, the last 3 games, he's not looked at his best. There would be nothing untoward in taking him to one side and say, listen, man, you've given everything this season, we appreciate you, but we're going to start with it.
I said today, man, it's not Granit Xhaka, it's Granit knackered. He needs a break, man. He needs to give him a break. But listen,
then maybe he's one of those that's re-energized by
and the thing is, we don't know how long's Partey going to be out for. They just say muscular problem.
Because I thought it was a rib injury, and now we're hearing about muscular problems. So, but listen, whoever it is that takes the pitch on next Saturday, I'm sure they will be in fine fit, or they'll be confident, because I genuinely believe that win against Villa, like I keep saying, it wasn't just the fact that we won, it was the manner of the win. I think it means a lot, and I think the energy, the sheer energy and vibe from that win on Saturday will carry over into this week, and we will beat Leicester on Saturday by at least 2 clear goals. How's that?
There you go.
But listen, bro,
thank
you very much for coming in. Thanks everybody for your comments and the super chats, and all those guys who called in, we appreciate them very much. Don't forget to watch out for our special shows on Wednesday when we're raising money for the Turkey and Syria earthquake, the tragic circumstances that went on there. Make sure you tune in. We've got lots of things going on. I'm sure several shows. I'm sure some of those will take your fancy. Thank you very much. Like, share, subscribe. Keep it locked on this station. We'll see you next week.
On Wednesday, the 22nd of February, we're going to be hosting a very special 12-hour live stream here on AFTV. We're going to be raising funds for the victims of the devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria. We're bringing together all your favorite programs, plus as well your favorite presenters on AFTV and also around the football community here on YouTube. All coming together to do this special 12-hour stream where we can raise as much funds as possible for those victims of that deadly earthquake. So join us on Wednesday, the 22nd of February from 12 p.m. till 12 a.m.